grass over there. Oh, well. Oh, well. Good morning, guys. Yes. Like that. How about this one? How about this one? Yes, what everybody's favorite morning game. What did Trump do while we were asleep? That's funny. That is funny.
Hey, Meta, can I get some discussion starters for Moby Dick?
Here are some topics.
Oh, let's get this right.
Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to find a blue journey.
Yes, it's hanging over my head. You can just...
I think we're gonna go with that today. All right, I think we're gonna go that. I'm gonna go with that today. Oh yeah, there's a countdown clock on the Tesla earnings call, so that is today. Now let's see if it has happened. There has been some news coming out of what was discussed on the earnings call. So I believe they've already had this discussion today. Hold on. Yes. Yeah, they do. Yeah, there is some news coming out of the discussions in the earnings call. All right. We'll get more into this during Tesla time, but the forecast for the next quarter, down. The valuation of the stock price is very, very low. Oh yeah, but we'll get into that. We will get into that near the end of the live. But good morning everybody that is here. Hello. Let's go through the list here. Let's say good morning to some people. Let's see, Peppermint Petty, what's up? Christy, Patriot, look at you. Passive Gamer, what's happening, guys? All right, Jace, Angela Morris. This is Lewis, Queen Top 87. I like that name. That's a cool name. The Sunray Room. That's a dope name as well. Yes. Pratangia Tushon. I hope I said that right. Pratangia Tushon. I hope I said that right. But yes, that is just saying what's up to some of the people. If you are here, go ahead and hit the like button. We'll grow the likes. I did. Hey, look at me. If you're here, hit the like button. We'll grow the live a little bit. We'll get some more people in here if you would like. Also, it just helps with the whole, with the analytics of everything. And if, let me know if the sound is good. If you like the sound, that's cool. Throw a lime wedge in the chat if the sound is good. And I guess we'll begin. I did not go through my emails yet. Uh-oh. Here we go. Sorry, I did not go through my emails yet because I normally put 1 or 2 articles in my email as a way to to have some stuff to talk about. I just have to open up my emails. Let's see here. Lot going on. Biggest news of the docket today, I believe, the thing that's got everybody up in arms is the regime announcing that they will begin collecting on student loans starting May 5th. They will give you a 30-day notice. Starting May 5th, they will give you a 30-day notice to collect on any loans that are already in default. And if you cannot pay those loans, they will attempt to garnish your wages. So when I talk about the section, because again, we've gone into that, we've had this discussion a lot, and I always say that it is not all boomers, but it is definitely, there's definitely a good amount of them who are truly looking to pull up every rug, every resource, every ladder, every opportunity for the generations that come after them. That is the vibe that all of this really gives. You want to raise taxes on the middle class, destroy it. You want to give these tax breaks to billionaires who, all that stuff. You want to make our lives more difficult now in terms of just trying to build back from the amount of severe debt that we all go into when we get into school. Debt that we should never have had to experience if college did not become a industry. If college did not become a for-profit industry based solely off the idea that they didn't want to have free education available to everybody in the country. Okay? We are seeing, once again, the effects of how racism, prejudice, and all of these things are built into this country to destroy it. Honestly, built into this country to destroy it. All right? The racism and prejudice that fuels this country turns this country into, it turns this country into the predator. It turns this country into the predator. And right now, all of the sector of boomers who have gotten everything they wanted to get out of life, but somehow are still upset. They don't have the adoration from millennials or the younger generation that they thought they would get. And they are just ready. It seems like Donald Trump is part of this group. They're just ready to essentially take everything out as they go out. It is like, that's what this really feels like to me. That's what it really feels like to me. It really feels like these people are just like, you know what, we're going to get rid of everything on our way out. As we come to the end of our lives, we do not want to see anything thriving without us in it. So we're going to destroy everything on our way out. That is the vibe. That is the vibe. But I'm telling you, good luck. I'm going to tell you like this. The backfiring that's going to come from trying to garnish these wages, it ain't going to work. All right? It ain't going to work. Donald Trump is saying he wants to, that was what will happen. They will garnish the wages of anybody in default of these student loans. And you already have people arguing, right? You already have people saying you shouldn't have got degrees in useless things that don't make you money. You went to your college to get all your, they have it. The right has an issue with higher education, okay? The right has an issue with higher education because higher education gives people the opportunity to think critically. Higher education gives people the opportunity to actually understand the economic issues in the world. And because of that, they tend not to vote along with right-wing policies that actually hurt people because they understand things like math. You know what I mean? They don't want you understanding things like math. They don't want you understanding economics. They don't want you to be able to read. Do you guys realize that was a big part of slavery and getting into the Jim Crow era? They do not want people to read. They do not want people to be educated. They don't want people to have the opportunity to get educated. Why is it that when I was growing up, coming up through school, right, they were telling me college is what you need. Absolutely. No matter what, you need to be going to college. You need to be getting that higher education. It is so important. You got to do it. There's no other option. The trade school, that's not an option. Those aren't options. Your options is get into a college because that is your opportunity to build a better life for yourself. It is such an important part of your life. You need to take these loans out. You need to do this no matter what. But somehow over the last maybe 10 years, now all of a sudden, school is a scam. Don't go to school. Don't do all this. It just seems like now that the numbers are officially in and, We are seeing more and more people. We saw an expansion of the middle class at one point. That is just that they just want that to be gone. You know, they just want that to be gone. They absolutely push college on us. I'm 34 years old. All throughout my school, they didn't. You know, the idea of a trade school was frowned upon. Now, actually, a trade school would be very, very helpful in a lot of ways. The skills for a trade school would be helpful in a lot of ways. It would have been nice to be teaching children those trades in school. They never wanted to do that. All they ever said was go to college. And then they also said go to college and study whatever you want. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. They said go to college and study whatever you want. That was the message that I got all throughout my schooling. Go to college, study whatever you want, and become whatever you feel like you want to be. All right? They heavily push college on us. Exactly. And now they're turning around, coming back, and they want to garnish our wages. I'm going to tell you like this. Good luck. Good luck, actually, by the way. Good luck. All right? Good luck. Good luck. I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna go how you think, okay? It is not gonna go how you think. All right? Try it. Try it, garnish your wages. What wages? What wages? What wages? Exactly. What wages? Well, wait, good luck. Yeah, try it. So we'll see. So we shall see. We'll see how they try to. We'll see how they try to do that. You know what I mean? Yes. That. Yeah, also, Doge is in the immigration courts database. That's perfect. Also, we all have a right to file a lawsuit against the government. Everybody who is supposedly in jeopardy of having their wages garnished, they can file a lawsuit against the government. You know what I mean? File an easy lawsuit because all of our information has been accessed without our consent. We know now that a lot of information has possibly been given to foreign countries, foreign entities, and everything like that. And Elon Musk did not have permission to do that. So, good luck. I'm just saying, good luck. Doge is now in the immigration court database. Yeah, that's yeah. Doge get access to sensitive data for millions of. Yeah, I was reading about this story yesterday. Hold on. I was reading a little bit about this story yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. Doge has gotten involved in the internet and the immigration courts. Yeah, well, that's, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how to, let me see here. Yeah, I was starting to read some of this yesterday. I'm going to, trying to crack down on illegal immigration, yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Why it matters. ECAS includes millions of confidential records from immigration court cases ranging from asylum claims to personal biographical information. This is not explicitly clear what Doge's mission with this data is, but it could be part of President Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. So they have access to the data. We don't know what they plan to do with it. More than likely, it is just to find a list to find more people to round up and send away. You realize even with all of this stuff going on with immigration and stuff like that, they are still not coming anywhere close to what they projected in terms of getting out illegal immigrants. They've absolutely not come anywhere close to it at all. And that is, Elon Musk wants to privatize government service. Yeah, that is what he would like to. I mean, he says that he would like to get out of government. Right now, he's putting out these things of I'm ready to quit. I'm going to step down from Doge. I'm trying to get out of the government. I'm trying to do that stuff. No, well, he's trying to privatize. He wants to privatize government. That's what the goal is. The goal is to privatize government, privatize everything. You know what I mean? And turn everything into a corporation. You know. That's like I said. That's all smoke and mirrors. That's all smoke and mirrors. But you know what? What's going to end up happening to these people is something that is very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. You know. What's going to happen to a lot of these people is very, very unfortunate, and it's not and there's really nothing that anybody can do to stop it. It's something they can do to stop it. The behavior of all of these people, whether it's in the Oval Office, the executive branch, Republicans who are being complicit to everything, sure, they are operating as if nothing will change. You know what I mean? They're operating under a lot of arrogance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you, it's all going to backfire. And I actually don't think that the fact that they have control of the military is going to matter. It's not going to matter. If you see everything going on with Pete Hegseth and everything, it's very clear the military would not be a resource that they could rely on to keep people in check. That's out the window. That is what we should have honestly taken away from April 20th. You know, that's what we should have taken away from April 20th. I know that it did not get discussed a lot because people were all up in arms, right? April 20th, martial law's coming. April 20th, this is going to happen. And I know I kept saying it. And a good number of people kept saying it. I was like, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? I kept being like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. I don't even have a military background, and I knew that was not gonna work. You know, it was not gonna work. America is 4 million square miles, I believe, of pure land. That's just the continental U.S. You know what I mean? So it's not even including Hawaii, Alaska, the territories, and that type of stuff. Okay, we don't have a military big enough to control this country. That's a fun fact. Did you guys know that? How many people knew that? How many people know that our military is not strong enough to control our own country? Our military isn't strong enough to control our own country. You know what I mean? There was no way martial law was going to happen. There was absolutely no way martial law was going to happen, especially when someone like Pete Hegseth got nominated to be Secretary of Defense. There was absolutely no way martial law was going to happen. They don't respect him, so don't expect them to be complying with his orders. Even if they have respect for Trump, these people are also vehemently patriotic in a way where they would honestly question the government if they were start attacking citizens. Let's be real. Okay. Sure, Proud Boys, 3%, Blackwater mercenaries will get deputized. It's still not enough. It's still not enough. I brought all the private militaries, all of the far right wing groups, the clans, the 3%, Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, every last one of them could band together to form this paramilitary for the administration. It would not work. They would absolutely not last. They wouldn't last a day. They would not last a day. They don't have the firepower. That is why their biggest weapon against everything is to push narratives in the media, is to push narratives on social media. You know what I mean? I mean, you can say, I hope you're right. I understand a lot of people don't I know there are people that listen to me talk and they just don't think that they don't believe it because there's a lot of fear. You know what I mean? But literally, think about the size of the country, the amount of people who live here, and the amount of resources that would be needed to, quote unquote, lock all this stuff down. Nobody on the planet has those type of resources. Maybe China, maybe, but maybe China, maybe. You know what I mean? But a big part of trying to keep everybody in check is about what's going on social media, what's going on in the news, and the narratives that they have to push. The idea that martial law could happen is essentially like, that's the sweet spot they want to live in. Thank you, Alex. I'm glad that, thank you for, thank you that. But, they have to, man, what was I saying? I got off track. I got off track. The sweet spot they want to live in is that they want you to think martial law can happen. You know what I mean? The sweet spot they want you to live in is that they want you to think martial law can happen. They want you to think that there's absolutely no way that you would have the power to stand up to the government if they really brought down the full weight of whatever it is they have at their disposal on the American people. But they don't want to do that. They don't. They really would much rather have people just convert to right-wing ideology. That is what they want. You know what I mean? They want people converting to white nationalism, Christian theology. That's why they're so concerned with going after kids and indoctrinating kids now. They just want you to grow up believing these things. You know what I mean? But they don't want to use force against, they don't want to use force against people. And if they did, it would destroy the illusion. That is what would destroy the illusion. Even with the Trump people talking about he could stand on the White House and murder somebody and I support him. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. That's speaking like somebody who has not actually seen someone. A lot of people who talk like that have actually never witnessed somebody dying right in front of them. You know, let's be real. A lot of people who talk like that, a lot of people who have those like bold statements, a lot of these fake tough MAGA people say all these things like I would watch him murder someone. You have never seen somebody die in front of you. Oh, have you been to a funeral? Okay. You know what I mean? You've been to a cemetery? You've been around dead people? Yeah. Have you watched someone lose their life in front of you? And like, just be honest. How many people can say that they've experienced that? Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, that is not the same feeling. And if you were to watch him, quote unquote, murder somebody in front of you, yeah, that illusion is broken. The illusion is broken. All right? So y'all want to talk about something? What, you know what I mean? I know that there's this idea that there's no line and that there's anything he can do and it won't matter to these people. There are lines. There are lines. A lot of what they talk about in support of this man, when you worship this man, it's ideology. It's ideology. It is a fantasy. It's a myth. It's this idea of who you think this person is. But when you see things like that happen in front of you, I know we all watch shows where people died, and we watch, you know, we get that out through like action shows and stuff like that. The reason why action, all those genres exist is to give you the rush of seeing this type of violence, but none of the fear from being right next to it, to seeing it. You know what I mean? It's stoking that cortisol without the consequences of actually being in front of somebody like that. You know what I mean? You're talking about people who had public lynching. These are people who are the children of the ones who did public lynchings. Okay? These are the children of the ones who did the public lynchings. They're not the ones who did the lynch. They're the children of the ones who did the public lynchings. And they think that is something they would be interested in doing. They're not that. They're not. It's in their blood. That's fine. That's cool. Guess what? My grandfather played 8 instruments. My grandfather could play 8 instruments. It's in my blood to know music. He was quite literally he played 8 different instruments. Played the piano, played the guitar, played saxophone, trumpet. He played piano, guitar, saxophone, trumpet. He could play what else did he play? He had he was a lot of woodwinds. A lot of woodwinds, flutes. He could do all that stuff. My grandfather could probably play every instrument in an orchestra. It's in my blood too. I can't play a lick of music. I can't play. Percussionist, yes, he could be drums too. Yes, he could play. He could play drums too. But I can't play a lick of music. I can't. Don't put nothing in front of. I can't play a lick. You know what I mean? It's nice to have things in your blood. It's nice to have like this, I mean, sure, that, you could inherit that. But when you actually have to step up and make that happen, a lot of these people who idealize being able to do that stuff, they don't got the stones to actually do something like that. They don't. And you might hear this saying, oh, I'm talking big. No, it's just reality. All right. It's just reality. Let's be real. How many people in this chat can say that they've seen somebody like unalive in front of them? You know what I mean? How many people in this chat can say that they have actually witnessed, civil unrest? The closest that America got to actually seeing civil unrest and feeling fear is, Greg. Yeah, sure, Greg. Okay. The closest everybody is seeing fear and everything like that was when, you saw what was going on in 2020 where people were upset. And those demonstrations broke out and everything. And now all of a sudden everybody was like, oh my God, this country's on. They don't. Seen it, but not Schmurder. Yeah, exactly. Schmurder is very, very different. Very, very different. Even as a nurse, even as somebody who was around death every day probably, where you see that happen. You know what I mean? Schmurt is way different. Okay? Just listen to me. It is much different, okay? It is very different, all right? So a lot of these people talking big, talking like there would be no, they would not really be interested in seeing that. You know what I mean? And if something like that were to happen, they would literally instantly be like, oh, I didn't sign. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I didn't sign up for that. Yes. If they watched him do something like that in real life, as big as they could literally show up to the rally, all decked out, make America great, everything, you know what I mean? Their whole life committed to it. Watch him do something like, oh, it's over. It's over. You saw the reaction they had to just when the muskrat did the thing, right? When the muskrat did the thing, oh, they were clapping, but okay, I'm gonna pull up that video. I'm just going to pull up the video of when he did it. And just the crowd reaction was enough to be like, oh, they didn't sign up for this. They didn't sign up for this. That's why they had to start talking that, Roman salute. And it was a Roman, that's because they didn't sign up for that. When he did that thing, literally, the people in the crowd were like, okay. And then they were like, sure, yeah. They were like, okay, yes. Hold on, they got all these videos. They only show the salute. I want the crowd reaction. That's what I want to see. I want to see the moment the crowd goes, oh, they won't show it. These videos won't. These videos won't show it. Oh man. Hold on. Elon Musk salute. Crowd reaction. Let me see if they got crowd reaction right there. Here we go. 100, yes. We got a big chat day today. That's what's up. Oh, this is from me. Oh man, let me see. Wow, all the videos. They have all the videos on TikTok. They don't show the crowd reaction. That is That is a sign. That is a sign.
This is the missile guidance system, bitch. We clown in this motherfucker. You better take your sensitive ass back to GPS.
Yeah. That is a sign. Yeah, point proven, right? Point proven. They said get those crowd reactions out of here. They said no, get those crowd reactions out of here. Point proven. Get them out of here. Get those crowd. Nobody had a bad time. Nobody was uncomfortable with it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Did Elon ever deny that? He's done his best to try to like minimize it now. So now people are just kind of just being like, oh yeah, they it's obviously it's not something to be talked about. But the point I'm trying to make is the aggrandizing that a lot of these people do in terms of what they are willing to put up with. And a lot of it is big talk. It's big talk. Trust me, it's big talk, and they think they want that. They don't. I'm telling you, right? That's a lot. Oh man, that is the truth. So that's why I am not really worried about I'm not worried about a full scale government coming down on the American people type thing. It's just I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening. The fear of martial law is more beneficial to them than actually carrying that out. Costs a lot of money to make something like that happen, okay? Not just to him, to a lot of people who put money in with him. You know what I mean? Also, martial law definitely drives, consumer confidence is on an all-time low, and martial law will drive that down to 0. Who's going to the store? Who's just going to the movies? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people with some deep pockets that would absolutely never want to see something like that happen. So they push this idea. That you should be afraid, that you should be worried about this stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, you think he's getting that military parade if they do that? No. That military parade is going to be a sad, sad sight. I want y'all to know that. It's going to be a sad sight. Because most likely what's going to happen is there will be a different demonstration happening in a different part of DC or somewhere else that will siphon off literally hundreds of thousands of people. His military parade is going to look, but I'm willing to take bets here right now that he either cancels the military parade and says that it's because of something with the woke radical leftists, or he goes through with it and the numbers are terrible and he blames the woke radical leftists. You can call me Nostradamus all you want. That's his behavior. Greg, that's his behavior. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. What do you think is going to happen? Tell me you think the whole country is going to gather in celebration of this man on his birthday? No. I promise you that won't happen. People going to go, but I promise you it ain't going. I don't think he's that extreme. What do you like? Well, we're not going to do the debate with you right now. Okay, we're not going to do the debate with you right now because obviously you're misreading what I'm saying, because that is just a natural part of being in a cult. It takes time to detox. You know what I mean? It takes time to detox. Break down the man's behavior. They're just like, I don't think he's that extreme. I just don't think that he would do that. Okay. Okay. Sure. We'll let the illusion break itself. That's all. That is all. All right. But what we're seeing now is that there is we're in the beginning of the unraveling. I told y'all yesterday that the unraveling is starting to happen. All right. The little factions are getting louder and louder in terms of their dissent. All right. Who was it? Senator John Kennedy. from Louisiana coming out openly and saying they made a mistake. They should not have that man over there in El Salvador. Don Bacon calling for the resignation of Pete Hegseth. Okay, these are Republicans who just 2 months ago were like signing off on all this stuff. You know, I believe that's where it starts, right? You start hearing prominent Republican voices come out and being like, we don't like this. It actually started with Lisa Murkowski, believe it or not. Lisa Murkowski openly admitting that all of us are afraid. That was the start of the internal rebellion that will be forming through Republicans. You know, this man is not, this man might align with some of them with some of their ideologies, but he is costing them opportunities to get reelected. He is costing them like peace of mind among their own constituents. It's making it hard for these people to even go home. You know what I mean? They can't go home because now their constituents want to talk to them. And that's what politicians do not like. That's upset. Politicians don't like it. Democrat, Republican is the same. They do not like talking to people. That's upsetting. That should upset you more than anything. But what we're learning through these town halls is that they do not like talking to people. Did you see the town hall of Byron? Yes, I'm going to pull up Byron Donald's town hall, okay? I'm going to pull up. Byron Donald was getting his wake-up call. Byron Donald's getting his wake-up call, all right? He's like, I thought y'all loved me because you voted for me. Oh, no, sir. Oh, no, sir. We don't do that. We don't do that here. Sorry. Oh, they spending all them. They are spending all of them. They're spending all of them. You know what I mean? The fact that a Republican senator is actually coming out and saying they are afraid means that a lot more are afraid. And that means a lot more will be coming out and saying stuff very, very soon. I'm telling you, the unraveling is going to begin. Okay? Because what's happening is this right here. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this sequence from Byron Donald's Social Security. He's talking about Social Security. He's talking about Doge. And he's talking about what they're doing, you know, in Washington and how it benefits people and blah, blah, blah. You know, all this stuff that, things like that, right? So let's go in here, all right? I might not be able to keep the video on the whole time because they'll start flagging the live, but I'll play as much of it as I can. And then the rest, we'll just listen, okay? Look at that.
Don't move. Are you ready? You ready for the other half of it? The previous president, President Biden.
They're sick of it. Bro, they are sick of it. They sick of hearing Biden. I'm telling you right now. I told y'all they was going to get tired of hearing Joe Biden. How that excuse ain't going to keep working. That excuse ain't going to keep working. That excuse ain't going to keep working. We're going to ignore you, Greg. That Joe Biden excuse ain't going to keep working. I'm telling y'all. What did I was like, Joe Biden works for, it was Joe Biden's fault that you couldn't turn things out day one. They said, okay, day one is whatever, day one. And then 3 weeks in, Joe Biden 3 weeks in. We are coming up on, this is 422. So that would officially be 3 months from the day he was inaugurated. We're at 92 days now, I believe. I think we're at 92 days of Trump's presidency. And he's still talking about Joe Biden. How? He's still talking about Joe Biden. And all of them talk about Joe Biden. And these people are like, we're sick of it. We're sick of it. Yeah, you saw that, right? They'll bring up Joe Biden for anything. Dude, you saw the Easter clip. He's like, the dude can't even celebrate Easter without talking about Joe Biden. He's like, bro, what is the obsession with Joe Biden? I'm telling y'all, he did not talk about Obama like this in the first term. He did not talk about Obama this much. He didn't. He didn't. Did he bring up Obama? Sure. He brought up Obama. Sure he brought it up. He tried to run that excuse for a little while. But I'm telling you, it did not carry on for this long. It absolutely did not carry on for this long. It's got to the point where it's like, okay, you have got to everything is Joe Biden. Everything is Joe Biden. Let's see here. Here we go.
Do you remember the bunny with Joe Biden? Remember? Do you remember when the bunny took Joe Biden out? He's not taking Trump out. Anyway, that was a beautiful moment when the bunny saved Joe Biden. Do you remember
So did the bunny take out Joe Biden or did the bunny save Joe Biden? This man is sundowning.
bunny with Joe Biden? Remember? Do you remember when the bunny took Joe Biden out?
Let me see. All right, let me see. Easter Bunny, Joe Biden. What is he talking about here? I should have done more research. Let's look. Easter Bunny, Joe Biden. What happened? Let's see. Because I'm going to be honest. I did not. I did not. Let's see. Let me see what the hell he is talking about. Let's see. Is this what they're talking about here? Wait, is this what they're talking about? There's no way. All right, I'm looking for, okay. Y'all got to be honest. Is this what they're talking about? I think this is what they're talking about. And if this is, I'm absolutely, I don't know how y'all continue to root for, what does this mean? This is the moment where the bunny saved Joe Biden. Look, this is what he's talking about. There you go. And that's it. This is the whole clip. Look, this is the whole clip. This is what he's referencing. The Easter Bunny said, "Hey, do you want to go over here?" This is what he's referencing. This is what he's referencing. Hold on, let's see. You said you think Biden tripped and bumped into the bunny. Let's see here. No, it's the same angle. This is the angle. This is the angle right here. So what happens is he's standing there talking to constituents, okay? He's standing there, whatever, doing something. He's having a discussion, Pakistan, Sudan, all that stuff. He's talking about presidential shit. And the bunny's like, hey, we're moving along. Essentially, that's all. And there you go. That's it. That is the infamous Joe Biden versus the bunny. That's literally it. That's literally it. That's literally it. This is that is quite literally it. I'm telling. It is the tan suit all over again. Yeah, somebody made a comment in my video, said that Joe Biden has like what is it? He said he had I know it's like prime real estate, but he's got a whole subdivision. I think that's what it was. This man has got a whole subdivision. He's got a Mar-a-Lago in Donald Trump's head right now. This is sad. That's upsetting. That's upsetting. Meanwhile, while this fiasco is happening, while this fake referencing with the bunny is happening, Pete Hegseth is over there just looking. He's over there fighting for his job. fighting for his job. Absolutely fighting for his job. Voice cracking. These are people who. We didn't watch that video yesterday, but we'll watch it. Pete Hegseth. every time these people, the voice is cracking. Oh, that's these people. They're disgruntled employees. So all that stuff we find out later on yesterday. All those people he talked about, these disgruntled employees who were fired and leaking and stuff like that. These are all people he brought in. These are people he hired directly. They're like, oh, he's going to leave them and replace them with loyalists. These were the loyalists. That's what I'm saying. These were the loyalists. They're going to replace them with loyalists. They can't go anywhere. They're just going to get... These were the loyalists. And they left. So I'm all right, I'm just saying. The facade is not going to be able to last. It's just not. That's just not. Yeah, oh yeah, get ready. How long before Donald Trump starts telling everyone he doesn't know Pete Hegseth? That's what's going to happen soon. Well, you know what's going. Well, as the heat turns up, he goes, well, I know him, but I don't know anything about it. That's kiss of death. Goodbye, Pete. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. That means you're fired. That's what that means. That's what that means. I don't know. And, he's not somebody I knew. He's not somebody I knew very well. I knew him, and I knew of him, and people knew of him, and they recommended him, and I knew of him, and he was the best. But, Biden, he was someone Biden was interested in, and the last administration, they had the worst. Yeah, the white. This is a house. What do we call it? This is the house we keep in a tippy top shape with our Home Depot gold sprayed decals. With them decals from Home Depot. That's what I was watching over the weekend, watching that girl expose how he got all that gold stuff from Home Depot. Got something in my eye. Oh, well, everything. That's all it's going to be. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. He going to hit up, he going to be like, they're going to ask him about Pete Hegseth. He's going to be like, who? And who are you with? Yes. Yeah, this is why nobody watches you anymore. All right. So, mind you, if you guys aren't familiar with Greg, for those of you in the chat who aren't familiar with Greg, okay, he likes to come in here and troll because he says what he says is that it brings him comfort to watch liberals complaining, right? So he comes in this chat every single day, to this live every day to watch us complain. Because that's what he wants. He wants to see us complain. That's why he comes here. He just comes here just to watch us complain. All right? But when he gets upset, and I know this, I know now, Greg, I done clocked you, brother. When I get under your skin, you do the same thing every time. When I get under your skin, you go, but the Democrats only have a 21% approval rating. Every time. Because here's the thing. Here's what I'm learning about Greg, okay? We're gonna talk about this, all right? Greg is trying to learn. He says it all the time. He's like, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to understand some things. I'm trying to see where you're coming from. But, it's a detox, okay? It takes a while to detox. So what happens is, he starts getting offended, and that foot starts tapping. That foot starts tapping. And he's like, I'm trying to keep this foot from tapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep these. That foot just starts tapping, and he's like, I don't know if I can stop myself. I don't know if I can stop this tapping. And then by the end of it, what have the Democrats ever done for you? I'm telling you, that's what happened. It's okay though. And then we reset. That's fine. I'm okay with it. People are like, you need to ban him. You need to get, no. I'm okay with it. It takes time. It takes time to detox, man. You know what I mean? It's a 12-step program. Okay? It's a 12-step. It is a 12-step program. So you got to be, you know what I mean? You got to give that time to develop. All right. You gotta let they say you gotta work the program or the program will work you. You know what I'm saying? You got to work the program so the program doesn't work you. That's what they say. You know what I mean? But as soon as he gets upset, as soon as he's like, all right, I can't control myself. What are the Democrats only have 21% approval rating? They have no leadership. They are over here doing all this stuff, and the Democrats have never looked out for the black community. That's what's happening. It's all right. It takes time. It takes time. All right. It takes time. So you gotta let Greg cook and then figure out what's going on. When you cook, if the meal is bad, you gotta taste it, right? You gotta let him cook and then figure out the meal is bad. That's all. But you try to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, they tired of hearing Joe Biden. They are tired of hearing Joe Biden. Look at here. Look, it gets worse too. I'm gonna go back to the Byron Donald. Town hall because it gets worse. They don't let up on him at all. Okay. Listen to this. And he makes a point that is very false. By the way. Here we go. He makes a point that is very false. By the way, and we'll get into that.
Access to the same database during his administration. 53. He authorized 53 students to have access to the Social Security database. And I didn't hear anybody being upset when Joe Biden authorized it. So how could you be upset when it's that versus Elon Musk? That is not true. Again, if you're going to have a conversation about policy, then
you hear it? People walking out. Oh, they walking out. They walking out. They got other videos too. I'm gonna find them because they started walking out in droves. And I don't know if you heard that guy back there going, "Where's the proof?" Like quite literally, these people are at the point where they're going, "Where's the proof?" You know, they're very upset. I'm also one of those people that sneaks over on because I'm also one of these people that they're very upset about something that is not taking place with this administration, and that is arrests of political. This is in Florida, yes. This is in Florida. This is in Florida. Okay. But they're very upset about the arrests not coming to some of these political people that they've been like foaming at the mouth to see get arrested for a long time. Like they've been foaming at the mouth to see people like Nancy Pelosi get arrested. Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, they've been like waiting for these things to be, where they've been told for years and years that these people are running these very like disturbing, rackets in your government and they need to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? They're very upset about that and it has not happened yet. People are like, well, they're literally asking them. You saw them ask that dude and you saw them ask the Muskrat at his little press conference, but they're quite literally, if you go on Reddit, you look at the conservative Reddit, if you go into X, you know what I mean? I don't recommend staying in the X, but if you go into X and see what these people are talking about, they're like, they are quite literally saying, we're not deporting enough immigrants, right? Even with everything Trump is doing, we're not deporting enough immigrants. We're not sending enough people over there. This is why Doge is getting access to that database. This is why they're looking for all this information. This is why they're creating these narratives of these people being criminals, which they're not. Kilmar, Abrego, Garcia, all these people. This is why they're creating these ideas to get people shipped out. You know what I mean? Because they need the illusion of them cracking down on immigration. They need the illusion of them cracking down on immigration. They don't have it. No, they're never going to beat Obama's record on deportation. And you guys try to use, and that's okay. So he tries to use that too in this talking point. But I'm going to get to that. I'm glad you brought that up. They use Barack Obama's deportation numbers against people who argue for Donald Trump committing all these deportations, right? You do that. And I understand Barack Obama deported a lot of people. Barack Obama found, during the Obama administration, people who were in this country illegally, committed crimes in this country, all right, and were being detained for those crimes were the ones who actually got rounded up and shipped out, okay? They also got due process. Thank you. All right. So those numbers came from the official process of the U.S. government. Same thing with Joe Biden. Same thing with Joe Biden. His numbers of getting actual illegal criminals out of the country has still dwarfed Donald Trump. All right. Donald Trump has actually excelled in sending people away that don't have criminal records. That's where the bulk of the numbers of the people who have been sent out are people without criminal records. And because the reason why they're getting sent out is because they're not getting due process. And that's what that is. That's what that is. So when y'all go in here and talk about Obama deported all these people, Joe Biden deported all these people or whatever, they quite literally went through the process, okay? And they actually, the court filings are there. Where are the court filings for the people getting sent out? Where are they? Where are the court filings of people getting sent out? Exactly. Thank you for Auntie LJ. The actual criminals, they're still here. They're still here. See, what Donald Trump does is he makes a problem worse so that he can come around and talk about the problem existing. He doesn't fix anything. He does not fix anything. He even says it himself. I prefer business in bad markets, right? His philosophy on everything is make it worse, okay? Make it worse, and then position yourself as the solution. All he does is make it worse. Make it worse, all right? And then when things get worse, you guys go, why is everything getting worse? And you look at Donald Trump and he goes, Joe Biden. You look at Donald Trump and he go, radical leftist. You look at Donald Trump and you go, all that stuff. You know what I mean? That is what's happening. That is what's happening. How did he get back to the office? I'm explaining it to you. The detox it takes time. It takes time to detox. How did he get back in the office? I am explaining to you how he got back in the office, okay? Creating problems, positioning yourself as the solution, and then never bringing the solution. That is why they vote. That is what made them vote. They buy into the lie. You buy into the lie. You buy into the lie. Now y'all don't even want to if anybody brings up the bipartisan border bill from the Biden administration, y'all lose your minds. Okay? You guys act like it did not exist. You guys talk about it like it's not real. You guys say, oh, it's BS. Oh, it's nothing. Just because Donald Trump was not the president when it was coming to be. And Donald Trump knew that if this bipartisan border bill, a bill that was introduced by Republicans, all right, worked with Democrats to come to an agreement and was about to be implemented, if Trump did not step in and say, kill that bill, because I am running on the fact that the border is bad. And I need the border to remain bad so that I can run around these places in the country and tell people the border is bad. He quite literally said that. He actually said that. Once again, which one of these radical left opinions of it? It was the president's opinion. Okay? It was the president's opinion. Thank you, Patriot. Drafted by a Republican. All right? Drafted by a Republican. All right? Bipartisan border bill. Would have extended the wall. You want the wall, right? Would have extended the wall. Okay? Would have allocated more resources to judges so that these criminals that you guys don't like would have actually been able to get into court quicker, and we could have figured out who was supposed to be here and who was not supposed to be here. Okay? Now, that was all supposed to be a thing. Allocate more resources to Border Patrol. Okay? So that they would actually have more equipment and more things at their disposal to keep things in check. All that stuff was in the bill. It was in the bill. You would have got more people on the border. You would have got more resources on the border. You would have gotten less people coming through the border unchecked. But guess what? Because your guy was not the one who would have been seen as the hero in that situation, because that would have actually killed every bit of narrative that he had during his presidency of the reason why I wasn't able to fix the borders because people got in the way. That is why that bill got killed. It is a proven fact. It is public record that is why that bill got killed. But you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. You want to go back into the whole, oh, man, Obama. It just always reverts back to Obama, or Biden. That's what, and that's what the program is all about. You know what I mean? Because we know you're going to have setbacks, okay? We know you're going to have issues and stuff like that. I should do a little commercial for my Maga rehab. We know you're going to have setbacks, okay? We know it's not going to be easy for you to work through these emotions. And we're here for you, all right? We're here for you, okay? We here for you. I don't know if you guys watch Succession. If you guys watch Succession, we here for you. We here for you. Because I know it's going to take time. And it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I am understanding. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call myself tolerant left, but I understand. I'm an understanding person. You know what I mean? I'm an understanding person. So that's cool. Yeah. And now the folding of the hands come in. Our candidate won the presidency, so we're fine. That's what that means. Well, we won the presidency, so that's And so, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. Facts do not like your feelings. That is normal. That's fine. You know what I mean? Facts don't like your feelings. They don't. But they remain true. You know what I mean? They remain true. So Byron Donald is dealing with a lot of issues. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can find the clips of the people who are like walking out in droves. Hold on, let's see here. I mean, look at that. Look at this guy right here. Look, this guy. Look, you know when you see the white, excuse me. You know when you see that finger go up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Look at this. Look at all. Look at this people like, I ain't doing this no more. They are fine. Excuse me. This, you see. This is what happened when you I worked at restaurants for years, all right? When that finger goes up, that's the finger that goes up when when they see something on their check that they didn't realize they paid for. You know what I mean? Excuse me, where's my waiter? Waiter, where's my waiter? We gotta look at this check here. We've gotta look at this, you know how they do. Excuse me, yeah, you charged us for our drinks here? I thought they were free refills. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. They getting out of there. They are tiptoeing out of there. Oh, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry the Joe Biden excuse is just not hitting the same. Thank you for the money gun, Jamie. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sorry the Joe Biden excuse is not hitting the same. All right? But it's because you have leaders that are built a society that is basically meant to collapse in on itself because they have created a feedback loop that does not encourage growth. They've created a feedback loop that does not encourage, that does not make anything stronger. It doesn't. This idea that we need to constantly shift the resources and keep giving it to a small section of the population, it's going to make everything collapse on itself. And the first people that are going to feel the effects of it, believe it or not, I know they say it is the poor people and stuff like that. The people who are going to feel effects of it are actually the rich people, because they depend on this society operating the way it does more than anybody else. They depend on it more than we do. Did y'all realize that? They have us convinced that we're the ones who depend on all these. They depend on it. If all this stuff goes away, they're the ones that are going to be in dire straits. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, I got money. It's going to say it will not. It absolutely will not. You know what I mean? Everything you do relies on us being able to prop you up. But see, the money makes you forget that. The money makes you separate yourself from all these people. You develop this idea that you are above them and that they depend on you, and you forget that. The money makes you forget that. And so you keep creating these situations and things fall. Ask Target. Ask Target. Target was like, it ain't gonna matter. Target literally said, it ain't gonna matter. They need us. You know what I mean? They need us. We did them a favor by acknowledging their products and acknowledging these communities. We did them a favor. That's what Target said. So as soon as this man DEI got to roll it back, they said, okay, we're going to get rid of that. $15 billion in losses. 11 weeks of no foot traffic. The man is sitting in an office with Al Sharpton, who probably has also never set foot in a Target. Trying to figure out how to get black people to come shop at his store again. He's talking to Al Sharpton. Talking to Al Sharpton. Listen, man. Look. If you're younger than 30, you probably barely have any idea who Al Sharpton was before you saw his old skinny ass on MSNBC. All right, I'll be honest. I'm serious. If you are below the age of 30, you probably don't know how involved Al Sharpton was in the civil rights movement. You've only seen him and his old, wrinkly, leather wallet-looking ass on MSNBC. Yeah, Al Sharpton ain't convincing the black community to do nothing. Okay? Al Sharpton ain't convincing us to do nothing. All right? Well, first of all, the boycott started November of last year, okay? Even when Pastor Jamal Bryant made the statement that he made to call for the boycott. The boycott was already happening and for 3 months at that point. You know what I mean? I love Jamal Bryant, but he hopped on the trend. All he did was hop on the trend early and slap a big name to it. So now everybody's like, he's the one that called for the boycott. He's the one that called. No, the boycott started in November of 2024. Okay? When employees walked out of an Austin Target location because of Target saying that they will get rid of these policies. That's when it started. That's when it started. All right. They count the 11 weeks, I guess, of this year, because that's how you start with quarters and everything like that. You know what I mean? But the boycott, if you go back to the fourth quarter of Target, this started in their fourth quarter of 2024. All right. But now you're going to Al Sharpton being like, how do we fix this? Al Sharpton ain't going to do nothing for you. He ain't going to do nothing. He going to take your money. I'll guarantee he going to take your money. He going to take your money. And he ain't going to do nothing for you. He ain't gonna do nothing for you. But all these people, they have spent so many decades outsourcing, putting things in the hands of other entities instead of taking on these things on their own. That is why the rich elites of today are not the same as the rich elites of 100 years ago. The Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the barons who built up the industrial age, they are not the same type of rich people that we see today. Those rich people actually had to deal with people. They actually had to build their wealth through their relationships with people. They had to understand people. They had to actually create resources for people to thrive so that they could build their industries. Now, I'm not saying they were good businessmen. They still Terrible business practices. All right, I promise you, they still took advantage of a lot. Rockefeller had a lot of hands in our education system because he said he wanted an education system that was going to create workers and not business owners. So these are not good people. But what I'm saying is they had to actually build their wealth through people. The millionaires of today don't have to do that. Private equity, tech. They don't have to build their wealth through people. So they don't actually know what the hell people want. They don't actually know what the hell people need. They build their shit through the computer. You know what I'm saying? So they have they've probably inherited wealth, or they probably come from money, or they probably already come from resources. So they really don't understand what it means to build, all right? They understand what it means to take and grow. They understand what it means to acquire and expand, but they don't know what it means to build from the ground up, all right? That's why that's why they're just like, yeah, no, whatever. Tax the people, whatever, it's fine. They think the money is endless. They think that these resources are endless because in their minds it's always been endless for them. They've never had to really build it. Donald Trump included. So what are we talking? He absolutely thinks this money's endless and it's not a big deal that we're giving all these tax breaks to rich people. Because somewhere down the road, this is his economic thinking, because this is how he's done business for 60 years now, okay? Pay attention, he's been doing business like this for 60 years, and he just believes somewhere down the road, the money is gonna be there. He just thinks somewhere down the road, the money is gonna find it, you know what I mean? It's all gonna come out in the wash. That is what these people always say. They just think the money's gonna find, it's gonna show up. That's how they grew up. That's how they understand money, and that's it's just going to show up somewhere. Yeah, they're going to bring manufacturing back. Yeah, we're just going to bring manufacturing back, and it's just going to come back. There's no plan. There's no plan. There's no detail, no strat. It's just going to come back. You know what I mean? That's all. I'm sorry if you're late. It's cool. Don't forget, guys. If you are late to the live, I will take all my lives and download them off of TikTok, and I put them on YouTube. So this live will be on YouTube later on today. But they've spent so much time just not even putting their hands in the dirt to control. They don't even control their kids' education. I found this video yesterday, this wonderful creator, what's her name? Anna R. Matson. Okay? Anna Matson. Please go follow her because I'm going to play a video. I'm just going to play a video of hers, and she's going to explain how they don't even control their own education. It's so crazy. They're trying to get rid of public education. They don't even control their own education. They don't. Listen to this and tell me that who's going to be the most effed when all this shit starts blowing up.
Do you want me to give you a fun example of how little our government officials know about what's happening in private equity? Just a really fun example. Why do they want to shut down TikTok? What's the excuse they've been using? We know it's because Meta is paying them, but what excuse are they using?
Because China, it's dangerous that they're going to own our data. It's for national security.
All of the politicians have kids in private school for their safety. Not because they're elitist. It's for their safety. They're in some of the most elite private schools in the United States, in every state in the United States. Do you know who acquired the largest collection of private school, like super elite private schools in the United States? Who? It sounds Italian. Primavera Private Equity. Do you know who they're owned by? Who? The Chinese Communist Party.
Says it right there.
Is literally in control of the most elite prep schools in the United States and the curriculum being taught to our politicians' children.
Ooh! Who's gonna win that trade war? Hey, who'd you say was gonna win that trade war? I remember who said it? Y'all, I remember somebody saying something about China folding. China is teaching your children. What are you talking? Oh yeah, you're gonna win the trade war. Okay. Okay. You lost before the trade war even started. You were already losing before the trade war even started. So what are we talking? They are teaching the richest and most elite children in this country are being taught by the Chinese. Okay? Okay. So there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You already lost, okay? You already lost. Crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy. They think they have nationalism, but the CCP, yeah, they require everything. That's her opinion. She can't prove. Dude, it's on. I can't. It's a public record, my man. It's not her. Greg, ignore him. Ignore him. Ignore him. It's okay. There's a point where I just let it go. It's good. They are so. It's over. I just want you to know that is a wrap. That's why you know that trade war is. This trade war is over. Also, the next pope is going to be an Asian man. Did you know? They said the betting favorite for the next pope is an Asian man. Oh, I can't wait to see how Catholics rock with this one. I can't wait. Can't wait to see how the American Catholics are going to love this one. Yes. Yes, the betting favorite to be the next pope is a 65-year-old cardinal from the Philippines. Everybody calls him, yes, the betting favorite to be, and then I think like there's a black cardinal too, who is also in the running. Like the top candidates for the next pope is like an Asian man, a Hispanic man, and a black man. That's what's good. Top 3 candidates: Asian man, Hispanic man, black man. That's what's about to be running. Look, yes. Those are the top 3 candidates. J.D. Vance. Oh, yeah. Those are your top 3 candidates. Ooh-wee. Ooh, I hope. Let's see how they will respond to this. Because a lot of Republicans identify as Catholic. A lot of them. A lot of these very white nationalist Republicans are strong, deep Catholics, and they are about to be. You're gonna have to respect. I'm telling you. Ooh, man. I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all stop playing with these people? I told y'all stop playing with these people. Think it's a game. You think it's a game. You think it's a game. Stop playing with these people, all right? That's who's about to run. That's who's about to run the church. The church that you use to justify your racism is about to be ran by a minority. Only a minority in America, because only a minority in America, because outside of America, there are no the white people are the minorities. But so that is about to be only in America. Minorities only exist in America, because outside of here, So. Just saying. How's it gonna feel? How's it gonna feel? Oh man. That's gonna be one for the ages right there. That's something that I am actually excited to see unfold. All right, when the new pope gets sworn in, and when it is a black man or an Asian, I cannot wait to watch that. I can't wait to see how that's going. I can't wait. Because they're going to convince y'all that religion don't matter. That's exactly, thank you. They're going to call religion performance. That's when they're going to convince y'all religion don't matter. I told y'all. They're going to convince y'all religion don't matter. And I saw somebody else on here talking about TikTok. Once these terrorists get all of it, they're going to start convincing y'all to eat like healthy. They're going to start. Why? They're going to start convincing y'all to eat tofu and all these. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, Maga's going to be woke as hell by 2028. I'm telling you, Maga about to be woke as hell pretty soon. Y'all thought it was a game. Maga about to be woke as hell coming very soon. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. That is the type. Oh, woke Maga is coming. Get ready. Woke Maga is on the way. Get ready. Woke Maga. Woke Maga is the last. That is their final play right there. Woke Maga. Oh yeah. Woke Maga is coming. That's what I'm gonna name. I've been naming all of the lives too, by the way. So when you go to my YouTube and you look at my icon, you'll see the date, and then I title all the lives, and I think I'm gonna title this live Woke Maga. That's what that's what it is. The title of this live is gonna be Woke Maga. Guaranteed. Guarantee it. All right. Put it in. Who wants to play some bets? Who wants to play some bets that Woke Maga is right around the corner? All right, get ready. They got to do something with the hats. You know, the tariff, he still got merch to sell. He got merch to sell. Get ready. Get ready. He still got merch to sell. Woke Maga is right around the corner, baby. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait for it. Electric vehicles, yeah, exactly. Electric vehicles, no religion in politics, social services, resources for the poor. Oh, it's all woke Maga, trust me. It's about to be. All women's rights. Oh yeah, woke Maga is about to be lit as fuck. Woke Maga is gonna be crazy. Mawa, I like. Mama, make America. That was good. That was good. I'm gonna pin that one. That one I'm pinning. I'm pinning that one. That's my favorite. That's my favorite of the day. Mawa, baby, that's it. Mawa, there you go, baby. Y'all ready for Mawa? You ready for the Mawa era, baby? Ooh-wee. That's why they call him Sleepy Joe. You're right, yes. That's why they call him Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe, no one can be as woke as me. No one can be as woke as me. I know woke. I know woke. I am more woke than anyone who's ever been woke before, okay? I know woke, okay? I know woke, and I'm the best at woke. You know how he points. That's how I know woke, and I'm the best at woke. So usually what happens is when the Pope dies, there's usually, I want to say it's 2 weeks where they mourn him. I believe they mourn him for 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. After that, they have I forget what it's called, but after that, all of the archbishops, all of the major 9 days, thank you. All the major cardinals gather at the Vatican, and they all go into the conclave. And they, thank you, it's called the conclave. Thank you. So they all gather and go to the conclave. And what the proceeding is called the conclave. So they all gather at the conclave. And this is essentially, it's because it's an election, but it's not like an election of the people. What happens is these cardinals all get together and then they start they vote on each other, basically. You know, the conclave is like when what happens is deals start getting made. People start, aligning with themselves with factions and stuff like that. It gets very Game of Thronesy in there. There is a movie on Netflix. Anthony Hopkins was in it called The Two Popes. This movie was in this movie they basically portrayed what took place when the Pope Benedict stepped down and Pope Francis was elected. And they showed the conclave that occurred after John Paul II died, and how they it is called. I haven't seen Conclave, but look up Two Popes too. That's another really good movie. But yeah, they all get together, deals are made, people are, they all, you know what I'm saying? It's just like politics, you know what I mean? People, alliances, all that stuff. You get this, you get that, you know what I mean? It'll be all blah, blah, blah if we all think. And then they vote And then they vote over and over again, because you have to vote until there is, I think you have to vote until it's unanimous, if I'm not mistaken. So they have to keep voting over and over and over again. And while they're in there deliberating, this conclave can last days. It can last days, weeks, even if it comes down to it. There is smoke that comes out, and when they finally make a decision, they change the smoke. Bing, bang, boom. So anyway, I'm sure I explained Catholicism to people who already knew it. I'm sorry. I'm just going on. But if you didn't know that was the process, that's how it goes. So essentially, we will have a new pope by what is today. Conclave won't start at least until May. We will probably have a new pope, but by the end of May. You know what I mean? By the end of May. Thank you. Black smoke, no decision. White smoke means they chose the pope. So yeah, we'll have a new pope. They'll decide sometime in May is when the pope will be chosen. And that's if everything goes well, because again, these conclaves can last. The one for Pope Francis lasted. That was a while, because I was living in Albany at the time, and I remember that conclave. It was like every day. It was like all over. They were talking about it on TV and everything like that. But yeah, that lasts for a while, and cool. If the Pope is black, it might still be black smoke. That's hilarious. All right, so. But yeah, be prepared for that. All right, we're a little behind schedule, but it is all good. We are going to slide into everybody's favorite game show. All right, are you ready? Oh, I'm doing this every day now. Passive gamer, I love your idea. I'm doing it every day now. Yes. Everybody, come on down. It is time for everyone's favorite game show. Thank you. Honestly, Passive Gamer gets all the credit for this. I'm doing this every day now. It's Tesla time, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tesla time. All right. That's right. Here at Tesla Time, this is when we take time out of our day to try and see how Elon Musk company is falling apart. That is right. This is what we like to do here. We like to track the failures of the man who told us we do not need empathy. So that is why I have dedicated a segment of my live every day to Tesla Time. Okay. Because he said he wants to take the country down, and we said you're coming down with us. All right. So today, as you know, we've been tracking the doomsday clock because the upcoming earnings announcement was for today. All right. Today is when he has to essentially talk to all his shareholders, and they have to not only explain what has gone on with the company, but make a forecast and projections for where the company is going for the rest of the year. You know, earnings announcements are a big deal. They majorly affect your stock price. Okay. And we have definitely seen they majorly affect your stock price, and depending on what your earnings report and forecast is, will determine where your profitability will be for the rest of the year. Okay. Now, I told you guys there is news coming out of this earning call because a few things have taken place that have not necessarily been the best for the muskrat. Okay. Not been the best, right? For starters, where was this? I just saw, here we go. For starters, Tesla is calling, after this earnings announcement, they are saying that Tesla is in what they believe is a code red. They believe is a code red. Code red for Tesla as Musk firm stalls ahead of key earnings. All right, they are very, very nervous what is coming out of Tesla, because one of the big things that happened with this earning report, there were two big things that happened. One of them was they changed the target goal for their price point for the year, and they dropped it by like 15%. What does that mean? They before this earnings report, based off of the profitability coming off of last year, based off how high the stock price was and how far it dropped, they tried to say somewhere they were going to recover and get somewhere in the middle. Elon Musk believed that they were going to get their price before this earnings call. They had projected that the price of the stock would get to be around $325. Okay. They thought even with all of the fallings and everything like that. Now, this is before he was really heavily going in with Doge and stuff like that. They thought that the profitability, the stock price would get back up to $325. That was what he had projected for most of the year. Okay. Well, and on this earnings call, they lowered that price. He lowered that price. He's basically telling them, we don't think we're going to be as profitable this year. He told, because based off of what have we seen? Recalls of the Cybertruck. They're not even producing new ones anymore. The massive leaps and growth of other automotive industry. The sound's really bad. How about, oh, that sounds really bad. Yes. Yeah. The massive growth in other companies that have EVs and stuff like that. People are still buying electric vehicles. People are buying more electric vehicles nowadays than they were even 5 years ago. And specifically because that's just where everything is going. More of these auto industries are trying to slowly move into electrical vehicles. That is the future. Just not his, yes. But in terms of his cars, they're not buying his. Everybody else across the board in the automotive industry, especially in EVs, sales are up 11, 12% in some places. His is the only EV that has negative sales right now. All right. I believe he's down, according to this, in the last month, down 4.75%. In the last 5 days, down 6.77%. And since the last earning call, which was a year ago, the stock price is down 40%. 40%. Okay. Now the performance of the stock will say that over the last year, it has shown gains, right? Because obviously we saw the surge after Donald Trump got elected. And the reason why that surge happened is because people thought Elon's proximity to the president was going to have nothing but benefits for his company. He was not going to be regulated as much. He was going to be able to produce cars at a much lower cost because they just figured that he had the in with the president, and that was only going to mean tax breaks, opportunities for Tesla to grow. They never anticipated the backlash of consumers. They never did. They kind of just thought that they were sitting in the driver's seat and there was no way anybody could take them out of it. No pun intended. And they're learning the hard way that is just not the case. Okay. That is just not the case. Now, because they cut that potential earning goal, because they cut it from 325 to 275, that kept his stock price from really tanking. All right. Really tanking. People would have jumped ship if he had been like, we're still going to try and shoot for 325. They would have been like, I'm out. But the fact that he said, we'll go down to 275, that's made a number of people be like, okay, I'll ride this out. I'll see where they're going. 275 sounds reasonable to me. And I could, maybe still see a profit if I stay in the game. Okay. Now, if I stay in the game. So a lot of them are still feeling like holding their stock would be the way to go. All right. Also, some of them are calling this a throwaway year in some instances. Okay. They're trying to play that narrative. So they're trying to play this narrative of like, ride the storm, see what happens. It's all going to come together in the end. Right. Again, what did I say earlier? These rich people who don't really understand what it means to build life from the bottom are sitting there going, the money is out there somewhere. We'll find it. Don't worry about it. Just it'll be here. OK, that doesn't work. So we have that going on with Tesla. But a real big problem in the wash. Yeah, Trump said that. That's what I'm saying. I'm using that quote because that's what I was talking about that earlier. And you'll see if you go back in the live, you'll see I was talking about that quote earlier. And now another thing that has caused them to be very, very nervous, okay, is that he is actually, in this call, he walked back something that he has been proclaiming for, what is it, the last like 6 months now? And that is, we will be having fully self-driving technology this year. He walked that back in this call. So remember yesterday when we were taking that vote and, you know, my man Greg was like, I'm buying one as soon as it comes out this year. It ain't coming out this year, all right? It ain't coming out, okay? This is according to, let's see here. This is according to MSN. In a move that caught many off guard, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has acknowledged a major shortcoming in the company's long-touted full self-driving technology. After 9 years of bold assertions that Tesla vehicles were hardware ready for autonomy, Musk admitted today, before you say these are opinions, all right, need you to use your listening ears, Greg, okay? What he admitted is that those equipped with Hardware 3 will require an upgrade to achieve true self-driving capabilities. He's saying the technology is not where it needs to be. The statement made during the recent shareholder call marks a significant reversal for the electric vehicle giant. It also raises difficult questions about transparency, love that word transparency, customer expectations, and the evolving realities of autonomous vehicle technology. It is not that easy to make self-driving cars, okay? Very, very difficult to do that. Very, very difficult to do that, especially when you talk about things like driving on the highway, driving in unpredictable conditions. You know what I mean? You want to be in a self-driving car when it's pouring rain? You want to be in a self-driving car in a blizzard? You want to be in a self-driving car when with stuff like black ice on the ground? You want to be in a self-driving car then? I don't think so. I don't think so. There's a lot of things that AI is not ready to account for that the human element is vastly needed in order to have control of a car and drive safely. Okay? Drive safely, all right? Now, he's posting these videos, and he posted this video in January, it looks like, talking about unsupervised self-driving or whatever is coming at a large scale. Look at this. He said January 28th, 2025. He said unsupervised, one step closer to large scale, unsupervised, full self-driving. Okay? And so that's a problem. That's a problem. Since 2016, Tesla has sold its vehicles with the claim that they possess the necessary hardware to support full self-driving. Since 2016, so he's quite literally been selling cars with the promise of you're going to get an upgrade where that car will drive itself at some point. Doing that in 2016. All right? This promise helped drive sales of the FSD package, which has cost some U.S. buyers as much as $12,000. But that promise has now been called into question. They were selling cars to people, telling them that you will eventually be able to get an upgrade like your iPhone in this car, and then it will drive itself. That has been a part of their business model. That has been a part of their selling point. And now in this earnings call, he's saying that that upgrade is not ready. This is a problem, okay? This is a problem. This is a problem. In a bid to calm the backlash, Tesla confirmed it would cover the cost of upgrading affected vehicles. In a bid to calm the backlash, Tesla confirmed it would cover the cost of upgrading affected vehicles from Hardware 3 to the newer Hardware 4. While this move may shield the company from legal challenges and repair some of the trust deficit, it comes with a heavy financial burden at a time when Tesla is already under pressure. The company is contending with increasing competition, as well as shifting market dynamics. Analysts believe the cost of upgrading a significant portion of the fleet could run into the hundreds of millions of dollars, especially if customer demand or retrofits is high. All right? Tesla has previously faced lawsuits for false advertising, including its over transition from Hardware 2 to Hardware 3. At that time, the company also agreed to provide free upgrades to some affected customers, setting a precedent that is now repeating itself. They weren't free. So he's saying, we'll upgrade you for free. It ain't free. Yeah. Yes. Years of delay and future still uncertain. Okay. To many industry observers, this development was not entirely unexpected. Tesla's journey towards full autonomy has been marred by delays and shifting timelines since promising self-driving capabilities in 2016. It's 2025. 2025. Man, almost a decade. He's been promising people. Self-driving. Been almost a decade. You know what I mean? How much longer we need? How much longer is it going to be? How much longer you need? You told people in 2016, self-driving is right around the corner. It's 2025. What are you talking about? It's just like the Joe Biden stuff. This is what I'm talking about. This is how these people work. This is what I'm talking about. It's the same thing. Same thing. Joe Biden, Obama. He been talking about Obama since 2016. Donald Trump, right? That's what they do. They just blame other people or other things for the fact that they cannot meet their own promises. That's what that's all about right there. Despite years of development, real-world testing, and marketing around autonomous driving, Tesla's full self-driving software is still not ready for public release. The final version remains under development, and no clear timeline has been set for its deployment. It's right there. It's right there. All right? This is Business Insider. This is what the Business Insider is saying. Oh, yeah. This is what the Business Insider is saying, okay? And Tesla's about to be going through it. All right? Meanwhile, competitors like Waymo, Cruise, and China's Xpeng continue to make strides in autonomous space. These companies are already deploying driverless taxis and pilot programs in select cities, applying pressure on Tesla to deliver on its promise or risk falling behind. So he sees the competition happening, and he's trying to figure out what to do. Other people are figuring it out, but why is he not figuring it out? Maybe because he's not the inventor that he claims to be. We talked about that yesterday. Tesla customers who invested early in the FSD package are left in a holding pattern. Some still optimistic, others increasingly disillusioned. For now, the reality is that full autonomy remains a future goal, not a present day feature. That was literally the only thing that made his stock profitable. Only thing that made it profitable, the only thing that made it worth staying in with Tesla was the promise that autonomous driving was on the way. He said in Wisconsin it was 6 months away. All right? He said in Wisconsin it was 6 months away. But they're literally, according to the Business Insider, according to his own admission on the earnings call with his shareholders, it's nowhere in sight. That's not good. I'm just saying, that's not good. Now, I know he over here talking about he leaving, he gonna focus on Tesla and stuff like that. This company is going down, all right? It's going down. There's no way around it. It's going down. It's very, very, very tough. So like we said, Doomsday was a tough day for the muskrat, okay? It was a tough day for the muskrat. He's still dealing with some stagflation right here, okay? Still dealing with some serious stagflation. I mean, look at this. Look at this crater over here in preparation for this earnings call. Look at the fear already. This right here, this means people are jumping ship. That is not, you ain't never, look, dip, if you take a dip, sometimes it gets like that. I get that. But when you get dips like this is prolonged. This is prolonged stagflate. You don't want that. That is worse. That's worse than having a major drop off. It is worse to have something like this. Okay? And he's going to get a lot more of this. Trust me. He's going to get a lot more of this. You don't want that. You know, I'm telling you, you don't want that. All right? I'm telling you. You see how these, they go down, but they jump back up. They go down, but they spike back up. You know what I mean? That's normal. That is what most businesses kind of encounter. When you start seeing this, right here, oh, that's bad. That's bad. You're talking about what? This is 2021. That means you're talking about the market essentially freezing, not going anywhere for hours at a time. This is a 5-hour window. This is a 5-hour window with no motion on the market. That's bad. That's bad. You don't need a PhD in economics to understand that is very, very bad. A 5-hour window with no movement on the market, so just no sales around the world for 5 hours, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. And yes, he probably did dump money in. He probably did dump money to try and raise his price. He might have offloaded shares, did something like that to raise the price. But prolong, you don't want that. You do not want that, okay? So I think that we are, I mean, as far as, I'm not going to speak for Elon Musk, but I think we're in pretty good shape. I told y'all this is going to be a while. It's going to take a while. It takes a while for these big companies to come down, but when they come down, it happens in glorious fashion. In glorious fashion. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. If you had a good time on this live, I appreciate you guys coming in here. I appreciate you guys hanging out, okay? If you don't follow me already, please go ahead and follow me. Hit the like button, hit the heart. Go ahead and follow me. Follow my second page, Daddy Lime, where I'm basically working on just dad content, you know, where I'm basically making stuff about me and my son, and just kind of, that's kind of what that whole page is dedicated to. Follow that page, please. I'm trying to grow it. And if you want to find me on other social media, like I said, I'm on Substack. I'm on YouTube, okay? This live will be on YouTube later on today, so you can listen to it in its entirety. If you missed it from the beginning, you can absolutely listen to it in its entirety. I am going to start adding my my new microphones that I got. I'm going to start adding it to it, but it just going to take some time. I'm getting some other equipment here so that I can actually create a real setup. You know what I mean? I may not always be recording in here for very long. I'm actually going to set up with other Daddy Lime. So like Daddy, D-A-D-D-Y, Lime. You'll see a picture of me holding my son, and that is what the other page is. All right. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for hopping in here. We got up to about 180 in the chat today. That's awesome. You know what I mean? We're getting close. We start breaking 200. I'm out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? We start breaking 200. I'm about to be on to something. You know what I mean? That's really good. I hope y'all had a good time. I know things are crazy. I know we're trying to figure everything out, but you know, we're all still here. We can always come here to this live and just have a good laugh and all the craziness. You know what I mean? We're gonna be all right. That's all I can say. All right, we are going to be all right. All right. There is more strength in the people than this administration will give it credit for. I know that we all feel very divided and broken, but it will. Yes, that's it. You'll see. I'm literally holding my son in the picture. I know we all feel divided and broken, but we are a lot more united than you think. And I'm telling you, this dude keeps coming at people for their money. If he keeps coming at the poor, it's gonna backlash. I promise you that. So just you know, stay woke. Stay woke, because you know, I'm telling that. Looking at you, Maga. Stay woke, all right, because it's coming. Okay, it's coming. Get ready for the Mawa t-shirts. The Mawa t-shirts might have to happen. I might have to make the Mawa t-shirts now. Make America woke again. I might have to do it. I might have to do it. I think I might have to do it. I'm going to be honest, Patriot. I might have to make some Mawa t-shirts. I think Mawa is the way to go. I think so. Green hats that say Mawa. I think I'm going to do it. I might too. Oh, man. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. Please be safe out there. Look out for the videos, and we will be back tomorrow.